Welcome back to another episode of Hockey Actually, everyone. A winning episode, may I add. I'm Izzy. This is Nicolleta, and there's a lot to talk about this week. I mean, there's always a lot to talk about, but we had two wins from each of the, or a win for each of the Vancouver teams, and we also had a trade for each of the Vancouver teams happen this week. Uh, of course, to introduce that, the Goldeneyes kicked things off with a trade this week. Completed the biggest trade in the PWHL's history on Sunday by flipping Michaela Cava, Brooke McQuigg, and McGreco to the Ottawa Charge for three forwards, Anna Shokina, Anna Meixner, and Manon McMahon. Did you see a trade coming? I feel like it felt like they needed a change, but we didn't necessarily see a trade, like a big trade coming.
Yeah, I was under the impression that they were gonna stick it out, especially because the players that they traded I found to be at least with Greco, like she was a physical presence on the ice and
Mm-hmm.
I noticed her. The
Mm-hmm.
other two not so much, but I was just a bit taken aback. I was like, "Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
interesting."
Yeah. And I
During the
think
pot.
Yeah. And I think like what surprised people most was just the sheer volume, right? Like
hmm
6 player total trade. That's a lot of players, right?
A lot of players.
And especially for like Vancouver, just getting Sarah Nurse back, and we'll probably talk about her later, but just getting Sarah Nurse back and then bringing in three brand new forwards, it's almost like you're almost working with a completely different team at that point, right? Like when you bring in three brand new players and one player who hasn't played much at all this season.
Barely.
But clearly it paid off because the Golden Eyes did thump the Toronto Scepters 5-0 on Thursday night in their first game back at the Coliseum since December 20th. So 14,000 fans in attendance. I think that's something we should bring up. Just the sheer amount of support.
Volume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sheer amount of support for the team, how loud it was there last night. And like this is a Thursday, right? This isn't like a weekend or anything. And of course, there's no like Canucks weren't playing, Abbotsford wasn't playing, no other like white caps or
Conflict.
anything
Yeah.
else. Yeah. So of course that might factor into it, but still
Thursday
14,000. Yeah.
at the start of school, and you've
Mhm.
got you still have Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, unless people are taking today off, but
Yeah, right? Like it's I mean, good for them, right? Like we
yeah.
love to see it. Love to see the support, even when they're like near the bottom of the league. And of course, that hasn't really changed now, even after yesterday's result or Thursday's result. But from what we saw from that team, that was looks like a completely different team in my opinion. But we can get into that later because we do also have a Canucks trade to talk about. I think it's probably the one that everyone expected the most. Doesn't
hmm
mean it does not hurt. Because, of course, after a while of chatter, Kiefer Sherwood is no longer with the Canucks. He's flipped to the San Jose Sharks for 2 second-round picks and defenseman Cole Clayton. I mean, like, we talked about it a lot in the lead up. It was expected to happen, but like
Yeah.
it's still like it's a big, big blow to a lineup that like you know he's consistently been one of their best players since he joined Vancouver, right? And of course he was injured when they traded him, but to see him go, I don't know, it's kind of
It hurts. Admittedly, it hurts, but it's okay because there's not much else you can do in that scenario. I think everyone knew it was bound to happen. It was just a matter of when.
Mhm.
I think it was just sooner than later.
Yeah. And I think something that he actually brought up in media that he appreciated is that the Canucks did get it done as quickly as they did because I believe he said him and his wife are expecting in April. Their due date is April. So
Oh,
to be able to kind of, I guess, be traded early, be able to plant your roots somewhere else, and then be prepared by the time that comes up, right? Like it's
yeah.
minimal credit, but credit to the Canucks for being able to do that for him.
At least they're being considerate.
Yeah.
I think it's the least they can do at this point,
Yeah,
but
true. Very true. But yeah, so no more Sherwood on the Canucks in some ways expected, but
in other ways still hurts.
yep, of course, as expected. But
As
on the topic of Sherwood to San Jose, I was thinking about this a bit. And we talked about it with Hughes when the Canucks traded Hughes, whether we thought he would stay in Minnesota long term. Of course, that is still something that's to be determined. But I'm also wondering if you could see Sherwood staying in San Jose longer term, like signing a deal with him after the season ends, or even if like they're thinking about flipping him at the deadline for something else. Like, do you think they would want to keep him long term, or do you think that's a good fit?
um I honestly couldn't tell you. Like I off the top of my head, it like Sherwood's kind of been on multiple teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say for certain whether I think he'll be a good fit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think the San Jose's got like that fast play that Sherwood's got as well. So I think he'll fit right in. They also need vet players and he's a bit older, he's got good charisma. I don't see
Culture
why,
guy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, culture guy. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't want him,
Mm-hmm.
but also maybe he doesn't like it there. Maybe something happens. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I think a little too early to tell. I also haven't watched him play with them yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if he's expected back anytime soon because he is still injured, but I think he had mentioned he was hoping to be with the team on their road trip, which actually, funnily enough, takes them to Vancouver next week. So
Oh
if
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
if he is in the lineup for that game, I'm sure he will have the phenomenal reception. Like regardless of how things have gone throughout the past couple seasons, we know that the Canucks fans love Sherwood, and even if he has moved on now, there's still no ill will for him, right? I don't know if anybody
I've never heard
ever.
anyone say like, "Oh, I don't like Sherwood."
Yeah, exactly.
You're either ambivalent to the guy or you love him. Like,
Un- Unless it was Canucks fans in 2024 when they played against Sherwood in the playoffs, saying that they didn't like him, then
well,
that's
but like for the now, I think
yeah.
he well liked. It'll be receptive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll get a nice big cheer if they show him
Yeah.
on the jumbotron. I'm sure they will. But we can I don't know. Do we want to talk about the Canucks first, or do we want to talk about the Goldeneyes first? Like,
Um, maybe we can start with the Goldeneyes.
started off positive and then ended
Yeah.
kind of like. I guess the Canucks stuff we have isn't overly negative compared to previous
Compared to
episodes,
previous, yeah, exactly.
but it's not completely positive. So, but yeah, we can. I mean, we'll go back into the new players then, of course, Anna Shokina, Anna Meixner, and Manon McMahon. Uh, three forwards comes at a time, of course, when Vancouver desperately needs offense. And they showed it. They showed it on Thursday. 5 goals, 2 goals from Sarah Nurse. She's up to 3 goals in her past 2 games since returning from injury now. Izzy Daniel scored. Abby Bureen scored. Am I missing anyone? I think I am missing someone. Oh, I'm blanking. Oh my gosh, who else scored? Venisheva.
There we go.
Venisheva. And it was her first goal as a Goldeneye, too. I don't know why I completely blanked on that, but
Sometimes the most obvious one is the one that you miss.
right? Yeah, you're just like, I said it already, didn't I? And then you're like, no, I did
You're like,
not.
nope. Yep.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, I was there for practice the past couple days before the game. And even then, like there was a noticeable like extra tempo to the way they were practicing, a lot faster, a lot harder on the forecheck. And I think, of course, with those three new players coming in, being those style of players where they're going to push the pace a little more, I think you really noticed that yesterday. Um, but like just the speed, and of course, Shokina and McMahon did play fourth line minutes, so we don't see as much of them. But I did still notice them. Like I did still see a lot of speed from McMahon, and Shokina had a couple shots on goal. Um, but I think Meixner was probably the new player that stood out to me the most, just from how energetically she played, really getting to the net pretty much every shift that she was on the ice for, heavy forechecking. And of course, she was paired with that line of Gabby Rosenthal and Abby Barine, which we know is a very like heavy forecheck, high energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I like really like that fit of those three together. Um, I don't know what it is. It just felt like things clicked last night, right? Like with the lines, with the players, with the style of play. Like, I don't know what your opinion was of it, but like it looked like, and as many people are saying, it looked like the team that everyone was talking about heading into the season, like that championship contending team.
Yeah. I really liked the style of play. I mean, I didn't get to watch too much of the game just because I was working my other job. But the parts that I did watch, I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seemed a little more cohesive than normal, and it didn't feel frantic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had also watched like the second half of the game, so
Yeah.
maybe at that point they had already caught the, I guess, caught the wave,
Mm-hmm.
but it looked good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's definitely a positive for Goldeneyes fans looking forward.
Mm-hmm. And I do think part of it that would help. Yeah, exactly. Part of it that did help is like having that crowd behind you too, right? Like it's been how long since you were at home? Like you have this is your building, you've got like the practice facility. This is your place, right? And
Mhm.
you kind of almost feel more comfortable in your own setting, right? So like maybe that played into it. Maybe it was the 14,000 fans, but at the end of the day, like on ice wise, like that was a very impressive effort. And it kind of makes you think like if they go on a little run here after the Olympic break, they've got like a pretty long home stretch. If they go on a bit of a run, playoffs is never out of the question, especially in this league, right? Where half the teams make playoffs, right?
Yep. It's the luck of the draw, but they got to work hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
They got to work hard.
And
We'll
it looks like they happen, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't at practices, but from what you're telling me, like I'm sure that the pieces are starting to connect with everyone. I also love the conspiracy theory where it's like Sarah Nurse fixes everything.
Is it really a conspiracy?
But yeah, do we want to talk about her at all or?
I do think we got to give her flowers because what she's done since returning to the lineup, like you can't even describe it. Goldeneyes coach Brian Adelsky recently has even been saying like he's pretty much been describing her as a player coach. Like there was one thing I think a couple weeks ago where they were saying like when they're looking at film and fixing their mistakes, at one point they were just saying we should just cut up nurses shifts and just show everyone this is what you need to do, like all the nurses shifts. And I'm like, you know what, fair enough. And
There.
like it's like I feel like you could just tell, right? Like this is like a league veteran. Of course, league's only been in action for 3 years, but this is a league veteran. She's played at every professional level in women's hockey. She knows like how to play. She knows what you need to do in order to play well at such a high competitive level. And I feel like she's one of those voices where if she's going to talk, you know that you're going to listen just because of the pedigree and what like she's been able to do. And I mean, like, of course, you could talk the talk, but you need to walk the walk. And she is walking the walk.
She struts. She
She's
struts.
got thigh high boots on right now, and she's
Yeah.
just strutting down there.
She's doing her thing.
She's just, yeah. It really feels like she's the beating heart of this team right now, and reasonably so.
Yeah. It's just when you have someone like that, yes, it's fantastic when they're there, but you still need to be able to produce when they're not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm
So,
hoping, yeah,
yeah. I
I'm
hope
hope
that the Goldeneyes will find that without her,
Mhm.
but be more motivated with her.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
yeah.
Like it's one of those situations where of course you want like you're gonna play better with her in the lineup, but it's not like it can't just be her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
And I do think because of the whole change in lines, we did see a new line with Nurse, with Venisheva, and with Michelle Karvinen. And I do also have to give credit to that line as well because they played phenomenally yesterday. Like you could tell there were three Olympians on that line, right? And
Yeah.
just the IQ that comes with like a player like Karvinen, and you combine that with Venisheva's forecheck and how like hard she plays, and then you put Nurse on there, right? It's almost like, why have we not done this from the start?
Yeah. Like, who didn't think of this sooner?
I mean, in all fairness, Nurse has been out,
Yes.
but like the point still stands. But and it's really interesting to see that line, and I really hope that they roll with that line moving forward. Of course, like we said, all three of those players are going to be at the Olympics, so they're not going to have that time to practice during the Olympic break for the PWHL. But do they really need to practice if we're being real? Like, mm. But anyways, yeah, so a great game for the Goldeneyes, and now they're en route to Denver for another stop for the takeover tour. And then they've got one more game in Minnesota, and then they are on break for a whole month, except for the players that are going to the Olympics, all 8 players going to the Olympics. But that aside,
Break time.
break time, exactly. And I know that they are going to have like a certain period of time to kind of just rest, and then they will be practicing throughout the Olympic break,
Mhm.
which people have kind of like, I'm seeing mixed reviews out there about whether this break is a good thing for not just the PWHL, but even the NHL too, whether
Mhm.
it's a good thing for these leagues or not. Just because, on one hand, if you are a team like the Golden Eyes, where you have momentum right now and you're rolling through, will this break halt that and cause you to like not be able to pick up steam when the leagues do return from break? Or is it one of those things where the extra practice and extra time off, like to rest, kind of help recharge you as you head towards what will eventually become like a playoff push? What are your thoughts? Do you think the Olympic break is a good thing for teams, or do you think it's not great?
I think it's great for certain individuals who need it.
Mhm.
I think as a whole, probably not the best for teams
Mhm.
because you do kind of get that break in your momentum. Like it does kind of like it's very jarring.
Mhm.
So I can see how, yes, okay, those who, especially those who are injured, will benefit from the time off because it doesn't make them feel like they're getting behind. But for those that are like ready to go, they're in the zone, they're doing their thing. It's like, why is there a month-long break in the middle of our season? Like it just kind of, I know that like if it was maybe like a week or a week and a half, that won't affect someone as much. But I know that when I went on any more than like 2 week break when I was like an athlete,
Mhm.
it made me feel like I lost the feel for it. I
Mm,
don't know how to describe it, but it's like you kind of have to like gain your footing again.
right. Mhm.
So, I mean, obviously it's different for each player, but I think overall not a great thing. I
Mhm.
mean, great for us viewers because we get to watch the Olympics, but
Yes.
yeah, what about you?
I'm kind of torn because, like, now that you mention it, yeah, like the whole, like, the mental aspect of getting back into the routine after having so much time off, especially when it's a month, like, that's definitely going to be hard. Um, but I also, like, in the kind of shifting towards, like, the Canucks, for example, like, I kind of see it as if you are one of those players, say, like Thatcher Demko, who
Hmm.
is injured yet again, or like even like a Marco Rossi who's injured, but like looks like he'll be returning sooner rather than later, or even a Filip who's playing tonight. Just so everybody knows.
I didn't.
you're like you're like what? That's news to me. Yeah, he's playing tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Continue,
yeah.
sorry. Just continue.
No, you're good. Like even for players like that who have been kind of dealing with injuries throughout the season, might still have stuff lingering, right? Like I do think that whole month to take off and kind of reevaluate, I think is good in terms of gauging, like kind of preparing better for when they get back to play. But I
Hmm.
also do think if you look at it from the side of like the players who are going to the Olympics, like of course the Goldeneyes have 8 players going, and I'm sure all 8 are going to get pretty big minutes. And for the Canucks, they've still got a pretty big handful of key players too. Uh, Kevin Lankinen's going. Don't know whether he's going to be starter or not, but he's still going to be there. Teddy Bluger, Filip Hronek, all these players who are already playing in a condensed, long, travel heavy schedule and then going to the Olympics and then finishing their season off. Like to have all that in there and then not really get the same kind of like break. I don't know if momentum would carry them through it or if it'd be a case where they just burn out by the end of the season and they're just like,
Yeah, it's almost like I don't want to say unfair, but it sucks. Because you're like, damn, these some of these guys have had okay, no offense to Team Canada, but you have players like Sam Bennett who didn't get chosen, who are pretty elite. He's just getting his month off, ready to go. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I get it.
Like, yeah. I find the situation to be frustrating for literally everyone involved.
Mhm.
I think the only person that this benefits is somebody like Thatcher Demko.
Or the fans who get to watch Olympic hockey, but
Or
then
the
also
fans.
not the fans who will see their
We'll
teams
see. Yeah.
potentially suffer. It's like a
It's a toss-up.
yeah.
It's a lose, 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 lose situation. Just too many losses.
Too many. And like where this kind of concerns me even more is like shifting gears to the Canucks a bit is in the event that Dem or not Demko, Lankinen, Kevin Lankinen does end up playing in a few games for Finland. He's already had to carry quite a bit of the load from Demko being injured. And now with like people still not knowing what Demko's status is going to be after the Olympics, in the event that Demko still isn't ready by the end of it, Lankinen's still going to have to carry that load into March and April. So not only is he carrying this big load from the fall, but he's also got potential Olympics and then March and April. And for a goaltender who like I feel like I noticed towards the end of last season, even for Lankinen, that despite having such good numbers in the fall, you could tell he was kind of starting to get tired, starting to like
Slip.
wear down. Yeah, as the season went on. Um, and for him to, of course, he played at the Four Nations last year too. Like to have that kind of season and then have another season like this where you're playing all this, like all these
All these
games.
hours, yeah.
And for a guy who literally like was didn't really carry the starting role until last season to go from like semi backup to semi 1A, 1B tandems to starter with heavy load 2 seasons in a row. Like, I don't know, like long term, I feel like that's something that like you kind of want to keep an eye on. I mean, regardless, the Olympics are happening unless that rink does not get
Oh my God.
fixed.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, what on earth
Like you had how long?
to prepare for this? And this
Yeah.
is what it looks like. I'm like, damn, just host it in Canada at this point. Like, or even Florida. Like, Florida has such a nice rink. I don't know what. I'm thinking the
Florida.
Panthers. The Panthers have a nice rink. They have a
Florida
good
was a
facility.
very, very random poll for that, but
That's what
you know
I'm
what?
saying, but like super random. But I was like, Florida? They got
Like
a nice stadium.
you're like anywhere in North America, just like
Anywhere, just literally anywhere else but there. Like, yes, okay, Milan is very cool, but if you don't have the necessary facilities,
Mhm. And like what's concerning is as much as people are talking about the rink not being ready, like potentially not being ready in time for the men's tournament, the women's tournament starts before then. Like the women's tournament starts on the 5th. If it's not ready for the men's tournament, what the heck are you gonna do for the women's tournament?
yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's
No
it's
bueno.
yep, it's
No bueno.
interesting situation, but we can move on from that. I mean, Canucks have already made two very big trades this season, Hughes and Sherwood, but it kind of sounds like they're not done yet. And like some people may agree with that, some people may not. I do feel like if you are looking to rebuild now or even before now is when you should be considering who's part of your long-term future or not. Uh, who do you see being traded next? Say that you have to pick like two or three players that have to be traded by this deadline, this year's deadline on March 6th. Who are the two that you'd be picking?
Hmm. That's a good question. I feel like I hate to say it, but I feel like Conor Garland, which is super random, but I kind of just get, does he doesn't have a no trade clause, does he?
Not right now, but once the
Yeah.
season ends, his no move kicks in. So now would be
Yeah.
the time, if
So
any.
now would be the time.
Mhm.
And then I, I think I'm just trying to manifest it into reality. Evander Kane. I mean, he's been playing decently, like recently,
Mhm.
but sorry, Evander Kane, if you ever hear this. I just not a fan personally.
I do think though, now that he has been playing a little better, like now is the time that now that people can see he's playing better, it's like, okay, this
There's
player's on the market.
potential.
Yeah, like what do you want to give us for him? Kane was also on my list. Actually, Garland was also on my list too, but
Yo, okay, let's
not
go.
like not like saying anything against Garland because he is one of those players that will give his all every shift and like you notice him out there. But I think just like Garland for me is a toss up because of like you said the no move clause kicking in next year and whether or not they want to like whether or not they want to keep him in the long term future or if he wants to stay for the long term future, right? I think that's something that's going to be kind of figured out in the next few
A little
weeks or
bit,
so.
yeah.
Kane, I just don't see being a part of the long term future. He's getting older. Pending UFA, of course, you know that there's always going to be the market for pending UFAs. And if he can play well enough to make a contender have trust in him being a factor in the playoffs, why not take a flyer on that, right?
Send him off. Have you seen that Will Smith
Oh, like
meme? Yeah, the pass me, I'll take
take
him.
him, take him. Oh,
Yep.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much for Kane, like I mean, like, yeah, like if he picks it up, like a good team who's going to playoffs could pick him up and, you know, maybe if the Canucks retain some of that salary that he has going on right now, they can get like a higher asset in return if they trade him. Like I feel like he may not be here by the time the deadline rolls around, but I guess we will see. I guess we'll see.
I like the sound of that.
Not saying that that's confirmed or anything. That's just my gut
Yeah.
feeling. But I did have a couple other players on the list. One of them is a player that I don't think will be here after the trade deadline. One is a player that I do think is going to be here. I'm gonna tell you the two players. I'll get you to tell me who you think will be here and who you think won't be here. I had Teddy Bluger and Elias Pettersson at the center. Have to specify the center.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Teddy Bluger's gone,
Mm-hmm.
but arguably, I would say Elias Pettersson is also gone. I don't know what the Canucks have with this fixation on the freaking giraffe, but they won't let him go. So he's staying. You've got Brock Besser. You've got Demko for another whatever. Like, he's kind of the only, I don't want to say valuable. Like, he's your only top two lines player that could bring you potentially a lot of value back. I know that sounds so mean, but does that make sense?
uh, I've been looking at it the same way,
Yeah.
but the reason I think he's gonna stay past this season and should stay past this season, and I actually wrote about it recently. The salary cap is expected to head like to increase by quite a bit in the next couple seasons to the point where once I think 2028 rolls around, you'll see almost a $20 million increase. If you are not happy with Pettersson, if you're not happy with Pettersson's play now and you wait until then, teams will have a lot more cap to be able to work in his contract if they wanted to acquire him. And that's the reason I see that is if like people are already kind of assumedly dismayed by his contract. Again, the thing is he has to approve a trade before any of this happens. But
Mhm.
if people are already not happy about his contract now, and if teams are not willing to trade for him because of the contract and what he produces with that contract in mind, if you wait a couple years, let's say his play stays the same, let's say he doesn't improve, there's always the fact that he could improve, there's always the fact that he could get worse. I don't think that would be the case, but let's say he maintains the same playing level throughout the next 2 years and all of a sudden teams have an extra $20 million that they can spend.
Mhm.
If you're a team that's interested, why would you bite on that now and give something up when you could wait 2 years, get him, and for the Canucks side, you could even maybe try to get his full contract off the books by then and potentially get something in return if he is playing better, right? Like, does that make sense? Like with the salary cap increase, more teams are going to be getting more money to spend, right? And so that 11.6 might not look as bad in the coming years because so many other players, like there's extra money being floated around the league, players will be making more, and that might fall to the wayside, right? Whereas now, if they were to trade him, I guarantee they would have to take some of his salary cap back. So, like, if you're gonna be in a rebuild position now, you may as well hold on to that for now, see how things go in a couple years, and flip him when there is more money to be spent by other teams, right?
Yeah, totally fair.
Yeah.
That makes
So,
sense.
yeah. So I'm on the side of don't trade him now, see how it is in 2 years, right?
Give it some time. Let it cook.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, yeah, Bluger, I kind of had as not being here by the end of the trade deadline, just because I feel like teams would be willing to take a flyer on him if they're like contender, right? Like
Hmm.
more defensive specialist, kill penalties, face off guy, center. He's won a cup before, so he's got that experience. Yeah, nothing against him. Just solely
It's
what.
observation.
Yeah, exactly. On the topic of trades and what this quote unquote core is going to look like in the long run, there were kind of some comments that went kind of viral, I guess. I don't know if they went viral, but like some comments that Adam Foote made on Monday about the culture in the locker room in the Canucks right now that kind of is not a promising sign. To kind of summarize for everyone, he pretty much said that the team gets too low on themselves when they fall back or when something happens that doesn't go their way. They just get frustrated and they end up playing themselves kind of out of winning. And we saw that on Saturday when they played the Edmonton Oilers and lost 6-0 after a failed coach's challenge turned into a penalty kill in which they allowed a goal against, and then all of a sudden 6 goals are scored against them in the second period. Uh, you see it and stuff like that, and then against the Islanders on Monday, of course, things looked different on Wednesday. They looked a lot better, and it seemed like the veterans that he had called out specifically kind of responded to that. Like, I don't know. Like it was just one game, so we don't know if this is a thing that is going to persist throughout the next few weeks, or if it's something that now that Foot has brought it up in public, if it's something that they're going to work towards fixing. Like I don't know. I do feel like I've noticed that about them sometimes, though, where they something happens and then all of a sudden they just kind of give up, right? I don't know if
Yeah,
you've seen that too. Yeah, right.
I've definitely noticed that. And that is when I turn the TV off. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, they gave up. I do as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, how are you like supposed to have faith when they don't even have faith in themselves, right?
It's hard to watch because like they do have players that are capable of producing way more than the level that they are producing at.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's literally just a mental thing, it's a shame because you know what, like these guys have worked hard to get to where they are, and to just let yourself be the downfall is tragic.
Mm-hmm.
So I do hope that they understand that, like, as much as this is a job and it's important to win, it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
And one game is not going to affect you for the rest of your life. It is spur of the moment. Something happened, move on. You can't dwell on the past, especially in such a fast-paced game,
Mm-hmm.
because then things like what you said, like with the Oilers, things like that happen. It's normal. You can't buy into that, oh, it's bad luck. Oh, we suck, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely I would say culture problem.
Yeah.
But I think that's because they lost a lot of the like heart and soul of the team.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
it's like I feel like there have been times this season, right, where we've seen them kind of pull off a win or pull off a comeback when they haven't really been expected to. I mean, you go back to last season when they had that 5-2 comeback win against Dallas, or even this year when they played Colorado at home, like they were still in it for a good chunk of the game. And they've had some of those games where they can rally back. But
mhm.
honestly, like for me, I feel like where I first noticed they were kind of just stopping and giving up is when all the trade rumors first started coming out, including Hughes. Like this is before Hughes was traded, but even then, you kind of just like they just didn't look as inspired as they have in the past. Like it's almost like the belief kind of just bottomed out.
Dissipated, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair to them, it's not going to feel good when your team captain, your best player, is maybe getting traded, and not maybe was traded.
Mm-hmm.
But for them at that time, like it just kind of feels like, okay, what now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they just kind of, as you said, like they give up. And it's sad to watch, but there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm. It's like they
That is
lost.
a,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is a, and also I think for Adam Foote to say something like that and not take accountability for it, I don't entirely like, because team culture, if you see that your team isn't playing well, it is your responsibility as the coach to get them into the zone, whether that be through, kindness, whether that be through, I don't want to say aggression, but like, like being assertive and saying,
Yeah.
hey, like lock in, let's go.
Accountability, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. So for him to just be like, oh yeah, they don't have good team culture, like, yeah, neither do you. Why do you think that they're not like they're a team, but there needs to be a lead or and you lost your captain, so get it together.
And on the topic of captain, like I know it's very early to be saying this. They just traded Hughes in middle of December, but it seems like a one voice who has kind of stepped through all of this kind of like chaos and all this pressure in the organization is not a voice you would expect because you never hear this voice. And that is Filip Hronek. Um, I mean, since Hughes was traded, he's stepped up. He's taken on the minutes. He's been doing media recently, which has never happened. And I wonder if, like, of course, we don't see the locker room. Like, we don't see what goes on inside the locker room. We don't know what's going on there. But I wonder if how much he has kind of stepped up in that way in kind of trying to help fix this broken culture that a lot of people are saying. Like, of course, we saw that they won on Wednesday and they've got a stretch of games coming up. We don't know what the record's going to look like, but like, I do kind of wonder if he's making moves or making steps to kind of change this a little bit now that things are kind of in disarray, but it looks like they're starting to try and patch things up. Like, I don't know.
I mean this kindly. If no one else will, then somebody's got to,
Mm-hmm.
And I think he waited and waited for somebody else, and there just was no one else coming. So he's like, okay, it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting serious.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to now it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not that I'm unconvinced that he won't be a good captain. I just think, because he hasn't shown that kind of leadership in the past. But to be totally honest with you, I didn't think that Hughes was an entirely fantastic captain either.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think he was just the best player and the best player got the C.
Yeah.
But you look at someone like Bo Horvat who lived and breathed for the team,
Mm-hmm.
First of all, dumbfounded that that trade ever occurred. But but it's like those are the types of people like your captain does not need to be the best player. Your captain needs to be the person who will be there no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You need consistency. You need that kind of a representation for a captain.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people get blindsided by that. So I actually don't hate the idea of him being captain. Sure, I don't love it, but like, who else is there? You
It's
know?
like,
And
yeah.
you're not gonna get one of your younger kids to
Mm-hmm.
step up into the role because that's
Not right now.
ridiculous. Not
Yeah.
right now.
Not right now.
Absolutely not. So you got to look at the current older guys.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you got?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, kind of making Demko captain would be such a power move. Goalie captain?
Goalie captain. That is
Goalie captain? Question mark? I mean, they're on the ice the whole time.
yeah, but how long is like with the injuries, when will he
No,
be
I
with
know.
the
Yeah, yeah.
team, right?
I'm
I
talking
know.
like in
In
theory. In
theory, yeah.
theory.
Yeah, in theory, not in practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So don't hate it, don't love it. I hope to see more from him because I do like and I think I appreciate the fact that he's stepping up.
Mhm. Yeah. And like, of course, it is still very early, right? To be having these kind of captain talks. Like, honestly, I do still think like It's hard because I do think with the way they are right now, like this team needs direction and they need someone to help steer them in the right direction. It's just, I don't know who it would be, right?
Well, there's no current captain, so someone's got to step up to the plate.
Yeah,
And I think that is what Hronek is seemingly trying to do.
yeah,
Whether that is successful or not, I don't know. But the fact that there's effort there and he's trying, I appreciate.
yeah, exactly. A for effort.
A for effort.
Literally, since he's wearing an A on his
Uh-huh.
jersey. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Like it's interesting because I do think ultimately their long-term captain is going to be one of the younger guys. Like I don't necessarily see any of the current older players being captain long term. Like if we're being completely honest, like 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said Horvat as a Canucks captain until he retires. But clearly that was not the case. So yeah,
Bring him back. No, I don't think he would want to come back.
I don't think
After that,
I was
after
gonna
that,
say
mm-mm.
I don't think he'd want to. I mean, he's happy in Long Island. He's injured right now, but he's going to the Olympics. He's better off without this team, which is sad to say, but anyways, I guess we can move on from the whole locker room culture thing. But we'd been talking earlier about how even if this team is tanking, you still want to see good result. You still want to see
What's the effort?
yeah, you want to see players putting in the work the right way, doing the like kind of executing the proper process. And it doesn't have to mean wins, right? Like even if you're losing, say in overtime, but you put in that effort and you're making a comeback and you're playing the way that people like you're playing an exciting game, for example. You're playing a game that people will pay money to go see, right? Like
Hmm.
kind of on that note, like there's this whole argument of like what is more important, process or results, right? And I think a lot of people right now want to see the process, right? Like they don't have to win. Like really, like they honestly do not have to win, but you like just to see a good team effort and a good process from this current collection of players. And I don't think we've been seeing that a whole lot during their losing streak. I think when they did eventually win on Wednesday, you saw a better process going on right there. Like, how important would you say process is here in the quote unquote rebuilding stage that they're going through?
Oh, I hate to be such a quoter, but it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So, for me, the process is always more important than the results because if you are seeing, you know what, like results are fantastic. They're phenomenal. You love to win. We love to see that. Like, obviously, you want that, but you don't want to see good results unless people have put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like just having a team that wins because they win and they're all just like happy-go-lucky, talented players, like that to me is less rewarding than seeing a team that's gone through it all
Mm-hmm.
and been able to bounce back. Like what's going on with the San Jose Sharks right now, like I think that is a very, very important thing that the Canucks should model what they're trying to do after.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Montreal Canadiens, like
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
those kids, you know what? They weren't winning, but they were putting in the effort.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving it their all, night in, night out. And look at them now. They worked hard, they worked as a collective, and they're doing phenomenally, right? So ultimately, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
And
guys,
I
like just get
lock in.
lock in.
And I like honestly, like I think, and it's interesting to think of it this way, but another team that I did see a lot of that with was Abbotsford during their Calder Cup run. And like, of course, No insult to them whatsoever. They weren't the most skilled team in the playoffs, right? Like realistically, their record at the end of like last seasons, like last regular season in the AHL, not the top team in the league. But they knew what they needed to do. They stuck to their process. Every single player worked hard. Every single player played the same way. They knew what they had to do. They went out, they worked their butts off, and they won. And that's what you like to see, right? You like to see collective effort. You like to see a team, right? A lot of people say, is this like a, to quote Kevin Bieksa from the 2020 bubble playoffs, is this like a club or a team, right? That was a team. And it's just so ironic to me that you have Abbotsford players up here now. And I'm almost sitting there like, can you teach them what you went
What you
through?
did.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. And these are all younger players, right? It's like, can you, the 25-year-old, tell the 33-year-old, like,
Well,
what?
I think, yeah, what it is that they need to do.
Mhm.
I think it's through no fault of their own, there just isn't enough team cohesion. Maybe it's just the people that are there, but like the Abbotsford Canucks, they were boys, like they hung out. They were having fun. They were
Mhm.
enjoying themselves. They were doing it because they wanted to do it for one another.
Mhm.
With this team, maybe it's because there's just been so much back and forth and okay, yes, losing sucks, but being at the bottom of the league is not helpful. Like you want to be there for each other. You should not like, okay, as nice as it is to produce for the fans, you should not be doing that just for us. You should be doing it for yourselves, and only then will you start to see results.
Mhm. Exactly.
Because if you work for yourself, then honestly, like that's all we can really ask for.
Mhm.
So, like that's what I'm saying. People like Carlson, and I will never stop gloating about Carlson. I admire his work ethic so extremely much. And
Mhm.
even in these like dark times, these gloomy hours, he is a little shining star passing through the night. And you know what? Yeah, okay, he'll have a rough shift here and there, but there is no doubt in my mind that that man is giving it his all every single time he's
Mhm.
on the ice.
Yep.
Like I know for certain that yes, he may make mistakes. Yes, okay, he may not be the best player on the ice, but he for damn sure will make sure that he's gonna do everything he possibly can to be that person. So,
And that's where you kind of wonder, like the players that had to grind to get to where they are. Like, and even you see it, like we've been talking, Kiefer Sherwood, Drew O'Connor, Linus Carlson now, like these players who weren't necessarily gifted the privilege of a top like first round pick in the draft. They understand that they need to work harder in order to get where they want to get. And because of that, you've got this work ethic that you've already established and it propels you, right? Like you spend
yeah.
all that time in the AHL and all of a sudden you're finding the success at the NHL level because you put the work in, you understand what it means to be where you are, and you're never going to take a shift off because like you've been there, right? Where you know what you have to do, you know what it takes, and you're
Yeah.
not going to stop. And that's just ingrained in the way you play, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Flowers to Linus Carlson always.
take the whole damn shot, brother. Like,
But we'll end the episode on a positive note. Speaking about Abbotsford, since they did get their Calder Cup rings finally on Thursday, um, they got to celebrate with the whole team. And of course, both Vancouver and Abbotsford had the day off. So everyone who was with the Canucks organization got to celebrate at Rogers Arena. So congrats to Abbotsford again on the Calder Cup win. Congrats on finally getting the rings. But we can
yeah.
end it on a positive note there, then, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week. Don't forget to do all the usual stuff, comment, reach out, everything.
Yada yada yada.
Yep, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully, we will have some more wins to talk about next week, but we will see.
We will see.
All
Team
right.
culture, that's what we want to see.
Team culture process.
Process.
We don't need wins, we need process.
Yeah.
All
Alrighty.
right. Talk to y'all next week.